this is only the third time in the magazine's history that it has endorsed a presidential candidate. We should also say that the Atlantic's founding statement, as your article points out, promised it would be the organ of no party or clique. So then what was it that compelled your magazine, the editorial board, to endorse Hillary Clinton?
Okay, got it.
Well, what compelled us was the fact that Donald Trump seems so far outside the American political mainstream. In 1860, the magazine endorsed Abraham Lincoln because it felt that only Lincoln could preserve the Union and abolish slavery. It was 104 years later that the magazine endorsed Lyndon Johnson, not because it believed in Lyndon Johnson so much, but because it was worried that his opponent, Barry Goldwater, was too extreme for office, including many of the things that he said about the use of nuclear weapons. And so in this case, we looked at those editorials and realized that Donald Trump exists so far outside the political mainstream. He's really not a Republican in some ways, a traditional Republican, that we felt that it was time to do what we did twice before again.
Yeah, and the context is important. I'm glad that you kind of went through the last two other times where the magazine endorsed a presidential candidate, and it seems that there are some similarities, when it comes to the endorsement of Lyndon B. Johnson, because it was more of a rejection of his opponent, Barry Goldwater, who the magazine saw as being dangerous, and so there's a parallel with that endorsement and with the Clinton endorsement.
Right. I think this is an endorsement of Hillary Clinton. We feel that she's qualified to be president, but this is motivated by fear about what Donald Trump would do to American democracy. The motivation here is not to weigh in a partisan way in American politics. The motivation is to call out someone, as you read earlier, someone we feel is so far outside the mainstream, is a demagogue and a xenophobe, that he does not conform to what we consider to be nonpartisan American values.
In the Atlantic's endorsement, it points out that even with Hillary Clinton's flaws, she is one of the most prepared candidates to seek the presidency. But then it goes on to say and give this pretty damning rejection of Trump. I also want to read another excerpt from this article, and it says, quote, Donald Trump, on the other hand, has no record of public service, excuse me, and no qualifications for public office. His effect is that of an infomercial huckster. He traffics in conspiracy theories and racist invective. He is appallingly sexist. He is erratic, secretive, and xenophobic. He expresses admiration for authoritarian rulers and evinces authoritarian tendencies himself. He is easily goaded, a poor quality for someone seeking control of America's nuclear arsenal. He is an enemy of fact-based discourse. He is ignorant of and indifferent to the Constitution. He appears not to read. So again, some very strong words there. But I guess my question is, why not stop short of endorsing the Democratic presidential nominee and simply encourage voters not to vote for Trump the way the USA Today did, which was also an unprecedented move by the newspaper?
Right. It's a good question, and I'm not going to criticize USA Today for the way it handled that. It was an interesting way to handle the issue. But this is an election. Somebody has to be president, and the only plausible way, according to the polls, that Donald Trump will not be president is if more people vote for Hillary Clinton. There are two other small party candidates, but they don't have any chance at all of becoming president. And so we were just dealing with that reality. An election is not merely about rejecting a person. It's really about picking a person. You never get a perfect choice in a democracy because no human is perfect. But this is the situation that we found ourselves in. And I don't think it was enough to simply say, don't vote for this guy. You have to give people a choice.